Hi, it's Badger Piper. Um, so we survived the storm. It ended up not actually being as bad as they thought. We were kind of on the edge of it, and a lot of it kind of went more south. So we kind of caught just the edge, and it only dumped about 5 inches, and which really wasn't too bad. The issue was when it came in a couple of days before. We had real for us would be warmer weather, which would be we had 37. I think that one day it almost topped 50, not 50 but 40. So we had a lot of snow that melted, and we had a lot of slush. Well, when that storm came in, and I commented on my last video to I think it was Sir Lancelot. Did I get that right? That when it came in, I should have made a video about 2 hours later, because then he would have been like, oh, now the guy's got the jacket on, because that wind just came in howling, and that temperature dropped, and it just, anything that was slush or was melting just froze. And when that snow, then the snow just came in, and it came in fast. So that was one of the nice parts. I mean, it came in, it kind of just blitzed us and then moved out. It's the ones that kind of hang out and just really dump and dump and dump. So, but when it came in blitz and that stuff froze, that stuff, all that snow came right on top of all that slush and stuff that froze. And then you kind of had some of the stuff that was in a stage of is more schnurt. It's kind of a terminology used when we snowmobile up here is schnurt. What that is we use that at kind of at the end of the snowmobile season when stuff is starting to get warm. It's a combination of snow and dirt and slush. But that some of that was kind of stuck in that stage where it's kind of slushy up. The snow covered it, so it didn't quite freeze. Just makes for this real packy snow that it just clogs your tire tread. And then you get that iciness underneath the stuff that was melted, and it was slick. Very, very slippery, especially when you're in a two-wheel drive, three-quarter-ton van that has highway tires on it. I was about every which way but straight when I was trying to go through some of these roads in town. So we ended up being all right. But yeah, if I could have shot a video, if I would have had time after I started working about 2 hours later, yeah, I had a jacket on then. So once that wind come barreling down, that wind chill really makes a big difference. Cold's a little better today. Feel a lot better. Probably not good enough to smoke a pipe. Maybe later on I might try it, but like I said, the sinuses just do not like that when I got a little bit of a cold. The thing I did want to share with you though is I before that I had started on a cob, and I had an idea, and the idea didn't go as planned. So what I really want to say is, like, if there's new people, I'll grab it here. If there's new people and you got an idea, and I've learned this through other aspects of just making things and on a projects out of different things for whatever I'm doing. If I'm making either fish baits, fishing poles, fletching arrows, making things out of woods, didgeridoos, cigar box tires, whatever it is I'm working on. When I get a new idea and I don't exactly have someone that's blueprinted it or done it before, which I usually try to look at, so I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, or because sometimes people have better ideas of how to get to a certain point than I would have thought of. But this particular one, I screwed it up, and most people would be upset. But like I said, I learned with a lot of other projects is once you screw something up, don't just discard it, and don't get too upset with it. I mean, if it's something that's not on a time crunch and it was just something you wanted to try in the first place, yeah, you're gonna be a little discouraged. But this is really the time to learn something from that. And what I mean by that is, try something you wanted to try before, but you thought was pretty sure it would screw it up. I mean, you already messed up what you were gonna do. So start doing silly things to it, just to see what you can do to it, because you might as well. Well, here, I'll just show you. So I got it on my little handle I usually put on them, which is a turkey striker that unfortunately broke when I was working on it last spring. This is an ugly cob. It didn't quite work out what I was trying to do to it. Now, this isn't what it looked like when I started doing all this stuff to it. I started somewhere else, and it just didn't work out. But my point being is, now that I got a messed up cob, instead of throwing it in the trash and being upset. This is really my time where I can start just really messing with this thing, and I don't care what happens to it. So if I want to try maybe even filing this down, putting a silly color on it, messing with the bottom of the bowl, or work on making new stems and maybe a new way I thought of to try and actually insert the stem and get the old one out, whatever the case would be, I have nothing to lose at this point and everything to learn. So I guess that's just a tip. Whether or not it's worth $1 or a cup of coffee to you, that's up to you. But and it just doesn't end with cobs. Like anything you work on, any of these guys are starting to work on, if you're getting into woodworking or whatever these are, these mistakes are very useful and they teach you a lot of things. And one thing if you start making things, you're gonna realize is once you start pushing the envelope on things a little bit, or you try to really change a lot of things, there are going to be mistakes. And just to learn from them, like something like that, or if it was a wood project, or if it was a Skybox guitar I'd been working on, there's been one or two of them that didn't work out. Well, then I just like, you know what? Let's mess around with some headstocks or some fretboards and just do some crazy crap to it. See if it works, and if it don't work, I'm out nothing. This project was already done. It was already scrapped, but I'm not wasting a new project. Or like in that case, you wouldn't be grabbing another cob saying, okay, now I'm going to try this and it not work, when you already know it's not going to work. Or you can grab that new cob and be like, I already know it works. Now let's apply this to something, the new project, so now that it will look nice and good. So if that makes any sense, other than that, I got to go start my day. So Wednesdays are probably my favorite day because you get to start the latest. And then I get hammered on Thursdays. But I'm feeling better. The storm was not as bad. Waiting for some tobacco in the mail. So I'm kind of excited about that. It should be here Friday. So other than that, I don't have a whole lot going on. If you're in a warm place, stay cool. If you're in a cold place, stay warm. Have a good afternoon.